Hello and welcome to another video. Today I will review Jurassic World Dominion and why I personally don't like it. But what is Jurassic World Dominion? Jurassic World Dominion is a 2022 film directed by Colin Trevorrow and was distributed by Universal. The film has two versions, theatrical and extended version. The theatrical version is the film that made it to theaters and you can view it on Prime Videos and on physical media. The extended edition is the intentional version of the film that was supposed to screen in theaters, but Universal decided not to. Still, some scenes from the extended edition were cut out, like the prologue. Thankfully, it came out on physical media releases soon after, and you can watch it on Prime Videos. So, what is the plot of this movie? The plot actually begins with a prologue. The prologue came on YouTube in 2021, I think, and was really made people hype for the movie. So, the prologue opens with the sun rising, and we see a dreadnought, a creature that should not be in the Hell Creek Formation, and for some reason it's 65 million years ago, even though it should be 66. And a locust fly on its legs, and then we see a Quetzalcoatlus eating a carcass and scaring off some pteranodons, which should also not be in that time period or place. We see a pteranodon flying, and Oviraptor eating an egg, and a which also shouldn't be there, and a herd of Nasuceratops, which should definitely not be there. Then we see Morris Intrepidus, which came before T-Rex, so this is breaking the laws of time, I guess. Or somehow Morris Intrepidus species somehow survived all the way to 65 million years ago. Eating some meat out of the Giganosaurus mouth. And then we see Giganosaurus, and it's very ugly and insanely accurate, and should also not be there. And somehow its kind had survived all the way to 65 8 million years ago. We see an adult T-Rex which is feathered, which is also very inaccurate. It was just overheat. The feathered T-Rex and Gigafly, with the Giga winning and the mosquito drinking the blood of the Rex, with its DNA being used to make Roberta. Speaking of Roberta, she is escaping the DPW and goes to a drive-in movie theater. She attacks some people, and the DPW almost shoot her, and Roberta gets away. The movie opens with a Mosasaurus destroying a fishing boat. We cut to a news lady who exponents about what happened after Fallen Kingdom and during its events. Then we see Claire and the Pelican veterinarian, whose name I completely forgot about again, and I'm so tired I can't research her name. Break into an illegal dinosaur breeding facility, and they save a unrealistic sick baby Triceratops, and they get on a getaway van along with Franklin, who is driving it. After they escape from a near-death experience with Ceratops and Sinoceratops and the guys who were hunting, who want the baby back, Franklin and the veterinarian decide to stop because they don't want to die. Then we see Owen and some DPW wrangle up a Pterosaurolophus. We cut to a scene of where Maisie clings the wood and goes into town, where she tells some guys to use flares to lure away an Apatosaurus herd. She goes back to the house where Claire talks to her. We cut to a scene where Blue teaches her baby named Beta to hunt, where Beta attacks and kills a wolf. And we cut to a scene of Owen hearing the sound of the wolf dying. After that, we cut to Ellie Statler going to a farm, where she finds out a prehistoric locust destroyed a wheat field, and thankfully, one of the kids there were able to capture one of the locusts. She takes one of the locusts and brings it to Alan Grant. Alan doesn't want, and also finds out that Biosyn sees that on the Bennett's farm did not get attacked. She meets Alan, and Alan is living the best life, sort of, but he is lonely. And she convinces him to go to Biosyn. to bust them, I guess. They see a baby nephew Ceratops that Claire saved, and they get on a jet. They meet Ramsey, who is the head, who is the communication officer, and we see a insanely inaccurate Dreadnoughtus, and we see a recreation of the shot of the Giganosaurus sleeping, with the Morris getting closer to it. We cut right back to Maisie, and she and Beta get kidnapped in the most stupid way possible. And Owen and Claire have to save them both for some reason. They should just save Maisie. It's so stupid. Why did they try to save Beta? She's just a raptor. Why does she matter? They meet Franklin again, and they tell them that Maisie and Beta were kidnapped by a poacher guy, which I also can't find his name, not because it's not there. No, it's just I'm so tired, and I just want to get this review, this voice line done with. And are in Malta. We cut right back to Al and Ellie, who were there in a biosync compound, and meets Lewis Dawson, the guy from the first film that Nedry made fun of. Al and Ellie see Ian Malcolm, who's talking about a lecture of genetic power is dangerous. He says that Biosyn created the locust and wanted to control the food web, but don't care if hundreds of people die. Just kind of like in the novels. We cut to Owen and Claire, and they are in Malta and meet Barry from the first movie. They go to an underground dinosaur market and see the poacher and this woman named Santos. The French intelligence officer Barry are about to arrest the poacher and Santos, but Santos frees her Velociraptors and kills some agents. Owen is able to track down the poacher, and he says, and before he gets eaten by a Carnotaurus, and Leonard, the adorable Lystrosaurus, he says he doesn't know where they are, just give him Santos, and that's it. After that, a robotic arm bearing an axe rips his head off. After that, Claire goes to Santos, which has her very dangerous raptors, go into a person's house and they have a fight where she shocks her with a dinosaur taser, and I'm surprised she's not dead. Anyway, she's able to escape that encounter, and she meets Owen and Barry, who almost apprehend her. She puts a laser pointer at Owen. Owen gets on a motorcycle, and then the Triceratops goes after him. The Allosaurus, who escaped from the Malta market, eats a guy on a scooter, and a Carnotaurus is also causing some mayhem. Then they get on a play which Kayla's playing, which I completely forgot about while writing the script, because I'm very tired from writing this. They get on a plane. They get in Ghost. The Triceratops jumps on, but thankfully Owen's motorcycle saves their lives by hitting Ghost, and Ghost falls into the ocean. Thankfully, Ghost survives for now. We cut to a scene where Henry's talking to Maisie and completely retconning that she is a clone created by her grandpa, but created by Charlotte Lockwood herself for some reason. Even though that's completely pointless and is just there to progress the plot and not making people think too much about how he made Maisie from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. After that, we see Al and Ellie get sampled to Bison Locust, but Maisie decides to escape and not caring about thousands of people. So she escapes, and Beta and her cause some mayhem. They meet Maisie, and they get away. They go to Hypermove. We cut right back to Owen, Claire, and Kayla. Their plane gets attacked by a Quetzalcoatlus, and the plane crashes, and Claire gets parachuted out of the plane. And crash land into a storm where she sees a Ferritosaurus which kills a deer. Claire escapes the Ferritosaurus by going underwater and also sneaking through some plants. We cut to Owen and Kayla, who somehow survive the plane crash and have no injuries on an ice lake. And they're on an ice lake. where they see a ugly, very inaccurate Pyroraptor which almost kills them, but sadly does not kill anybody because this movie is trying to appeal more to kids. Even though in the Lost World and in the two novels, it is really dark. And also it can swim, I guess. They get on an elevator which saves them. We cut to Maisie who meets Alan and they get on the Hyperloop, where they see Ramsey again, and turns out he's a good guy for some reason. I guess villains have redemption arcs in these movies. I guess in Jurassic World 58, I guess an intergalactic bad guy is going to be turned out who committed war crimes. Turns out to be the good guy. Turns out to be a good guy and totally not a horrible person. And there's a redemption arc, and he can't die because that's how these movies work now. I guess. And also, for some reason, they introduced Maisie like she's the most important person, like The Rock. We cut back to Kalen where they see Roberta in the Giga fight, with Roberta actually retreating. This is the same T-Rex who attacked and killed a Carnotaurus while a volcano was exploding. Is the Giga more terrifying than a volcano? I guess so. We cut to Ian, who's talking about Dodson, and how he is dumb and why he's a horrible person. And Dodson turns on the Hyperloop, and for some reason it cuts to a scene like, wait, what? I didn't mean to do that. We literally see him. That was like one of the only parts of him where he's like the novel version of him. The train stops, and Alan, Ellie, and Maisie are trapped. They get attacked by Morphodons. I mean, by Metrodons, and Ian tries to save them, but Ramsey saves them because these movies with scary actions, with scary scenes, must have also be comedies. Unless it's funky, then I actually like how the source killed that guy. But thankfully, Ramsey remotely saves them. Alan, Ellie, Ian, and Maisie get on a truck and try to drive safety. We cut to Claire, who's about to die to a Dilophosaurus, but Owen saves her, like the Dilophosaurus wasn't even there. And they see Bios is burning the Locust, the truck that the original gang was on, and Maisie stopped precisely where the new gang and Kayla were at. Then we see, and they have some chit chat. Then we see the Giga walking out of the forest, so cool and awesome. Even though in this scene it kind of retcons because they ordered all the dinosaurs to go back to the base with mind control. I guess this Giga's able to ascend the mind control, I guess. And for some reason, it's not running. I guess it's not running at all. I guess the mind control also kind of affects his neurological system for a second. The Giga and the gang taking advantages gets to the outpost, and the Giga finally breaks free and breaks into the window and almost kills Claire and Owen, but Owen saves her by tasing the Giga in the eye and making the Giga completely useless, making the Giga leave and not killing anybody. This is the only bad dinosaur villain that hasn't killed a single person in the franchise. The Spinosaurus killed two people. I mean, the big one, he killed like three people, I think. The Spinosaurus killed one person. The Indominus killed 15. The Indoraptor killed 5 men. And finally, this guy killed nobody, I guess. I guess bad dinosaurs are no longer allowed, I guess. After some wacky shenanigans, they are about to leave. Till Doctor Who shows up and has a redemption arc. Another redemption arc. I'm not going crazy. The next Jurassic film, I bet with my life, like I said earlier in this video, there is going to be a character which has a complete 180 redemption arc. And I know Jurassic World 7. After all, even though he killed 1,000 people, Kayla, 100, couple people. Haley is about to land her copter, then Ramsey says dinosaurs are in the compound. And she didn't hear that for a second, then she sees a Rhodonus. You don't get why they didn't make a shelter so they didn't have to do it, but I digress. So, anyways, the rest of the new gang meets Roberta, and also see the Giga, and they fight, with Roberta almost dying. Kayla shoots a flare at the Ferrosaurus and not at the Giga, and the Ferrosaurus, which attacks the Giga, almost dies, but thankfully Rexy gets up and like the maniac she is, throws the Giga in her claws, and the Giga dies. The Giga lays there on the ground, just trying to protect his territory, with Rexy and the Ferrosaurus roaring, even though the creature was trying to protect his territory. After that, they get back to safety, and they stop the locust. They return Beta back to Blue, and the movie ends with a weird montage of saying that we should coexist, even though there's like hundreds and hundreds of invasive species. We can't just coexist.
We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
Before I completely destroy this movie, I want to talk about what I actually like about the movie. The first thing I like about this movie is that Alan is just the same likable character from Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park 3, and is just so Alan. Like, I feel sad for the man. Like, I feel sad. He wants to be with Ellie Sattler, but sadly, because of Jurassic Park 3 reasons, he can't. The rest of the cast is bad. Also, like some of the dinosaur designs, to an extent. I have my standards. I like that they tried to make feathered dinosaurs, but it didn't really work out. And I like the forest fire scene in the final battle. That's it. That's what I like. So, what's the bad stuff of this movie? So, the animatronics in the movie look really bad. Well, yes, they do look realistic, but they don't move realistically. Take a scene from Jurassic Park Lost World. We see a baby Stegosaurus and it looks incredible. We see it eat and we see it blink. Now, and it has beautifully non-stiff movement. Now compared to a scene in Jurassic World Dominion, where we see a baby Ceratops, and it just looks so artificial because it doesn't blink. Its movement is stiff, and its skin texture is a little bit too shiny. I don't believe this thing is a living, breathing animal, unlike the baby Stegosaurus. I do like the concept of dinosaurs on the mainland and Biosyn taking over because it can expand the lore in so many interesting ways, like how the world is dealing with these insanely invasive creatures and how Biosyn rose from the ashes of Ingens even though they are the one who lit Ingen on fire back in 1993. I also don't like that by the end of the film, more characters are there than when the movie started off. It's like they can't kill any bad characters off. Even the clearly bad one, Henry Wu, which is completely responsible for the hijinks and possibly getting a whole bunch of people killed. Also, I don't like that they bring back the original cast because besides Ellen, they're bad. Ellie's alright, and Ian, it completely just retcons the character he became in The Lost World, which I actually prefer than the original Jurassic Park version of him. Not because he's funny, no, he just grows as a character. But one of my biggest disappointments is that we don't see many dinosaurs in our world like what this movie promoted. Like, I'm being serious. For the main majority of the movie, we see dinosaurs in the snow, barely interacting with people, only one scene, and in the swamp. That's it. We that's it. There's not that much in the entire movie. Well, yes, we have the Malta sequence, which is the best part of the movie. After that, we see no more dinosaurs. It's just them in the swamp and sometimes in that one little scene in the snow. Another disappointing thing in this movie is that the Giganosaurus is not a good villain. Well, yes, I do like that acts like an animal. It doesn't make a good villain. I'm not saying a a animalistic, completely animalistic villain can't work. That's what I hope for a new Rebirth movie, because I haven't watched it yet while I'm recording this video. Like, the mutant is said to be acting more like an animal. And if it fights an opponent like, I don't know, Spinosaurus or T-Rex, it's acting, those animals will act like animals. But in this movie, it fights Roberta, which acts a bit more like a human, because she literally teamed up with Blue. And with Roberta being more human-like, and the Giga not, it just seems like when she killed it, it gives me a bad taste in my mouth, because this creature is just not a monster. It's just a poor, defenseless animal. If it acted more like Acid 87, it will give me a bad taste in my mouth. But this alone, it just makes me feel sad. Also, I don't like the Giga design. I mentioned this earlier, but my god, this thing should look more paleo accurate. This thing looks more like looks more like a Godzillasaurus than a Giganotosaurus. This, I guess minus one director took inspiration from this. I guess. Okay, I'm gonna speed run the rest of stuff, or this video will take all day. Acid 87, the final battle instead of the first source, making Maisie more likable and not retconning her being created by her grandpa. Instead of Locust making a disease that Bison had created that causes a pandemic, which comes from the dinosaurs and is basically like COVID on steroids. Not bringing back the original cast, Blue not being in the story because her story wrapped up in Fallen Kingdom. Doxson, Ramsey, and Blue dying in a Hyperloop because the Lavasaurus, and Blue's dying to an Adultosaurus to as far as PG-13 can push to Nedry's death in the original Jurassic Park Nile, and finally making the Pyraptor more accurate and killing Kayla. But you might be saying, Jude, there's an extended version of the film, a better version of the film. How much? It has to be significantly better. It's not. It's like 15% better. For Jurassic World Dominion home release, they made an extended edition of the movie, which has more scenes with more dinosaurs, which like the prologue. This was supposed to be the original release of the film, but Universal want more money, so they decided not to. And I guess that paid off, I guess. Thankfully, we have it, and is it that much better? Sort of. Well, yes, it is good. Don't get me wrong, I love it. It's just not that much better. The same problems from the original film are there, like Maisie not being that likable, and having the Giga looking ugly, but it's still much better. If I have to recommend either film, I would recommend the extended edition over the theatrical release. I'm being honest. If you have a choice between buying the extended edition Blu-ray and the theatrical version Blu-ray, even though they are in the same Blu-ray, I recommend you getting the extended edition because it's just so much better. I wish they could make more extended edition of these films, like Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom. That would be really cool, like seeing some deleted scenes of like how Larry and Simon found out how the Indominus Rex was able to camouflage, and Iris' death scene. That would be really cool. Also, Blue killed the kid in the extended edition. Overall, Jurassic World Dominion is disappointing. It isn't the worst movie I ever seen. Pacific Rim Uprising definitely takes a cake as the most disappointing and bad. My star rating of the movie is 3 out of 10. And for the extended edition, I give it 3.5 out of 10. Even that is being generous. If the Malta in prologue scene, it would be more like a 2 out of 10. And yes, I changed my star rating system from 5 to 10. So for the other movies I reviewed on this channel, They're right up on screen. So, yeah, you know that now. The video is over now, so goodbye.